Hi everyone, it's Jules. Welcome to Jules Journals, and in this video I'm going to talk about my wrap up for the second half of November of 2024. I did already record the first half of November, so I will link that video down below if you're interested in any sort of books or movies or TV that I watched and finished. So for the second half I finished 4 books, and I'll start off with this one, which I believe did win the Booker Prize, and this is Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I believe it's translated. I can't remember. And this book is takes place in outer space, in orbit, and there's not a lot that happens, but it's like from their perspective of viewing the Earth. So they are seeing like a tsunami come in, and it's also about time, like how they are experiencing, I think, 16 sunrises and sunsets a day. So their time is really, messed up in a way. I did like it. I did highlight some things and do some annotations. It's a very quick read. It's a very short book. Let's find one that I annotated. And this is just one sentence. Their family shuffled sideways through their crack of fate. I liked that one. Let's see what this one is. Okay, I'll read this. Or otherwise talking about TV shows they watched as kids or books they loved. It turns out they were all familiar with Winnie the Pooh in one form or another in their 5 different countries. Winnie Pooh, Le Receto, I can't say that. Poussin, Vinnie Pook, the same small animated bear there in some domain of their hearts. But when it comes to what got them here, what motives, I don't know why I try and do this. What motives and desires, those things are behind them. They've got here is what they think. You get here and your life starts anew, and everything you brought along, you brought in your head. And unless it's needed, it stays in your head, because this is it now. This is home. Their spaceship. I believe there's 6 astronauts, and they're all from different countries, so it's also about different cultures and all of that. I really enjoyed it. I can see why it won the Booker. I am disappointed that I believe it was James was on the short list, and he just won the National Book Award for that book, Percival Everett. I'm disappointed that one didn't win, but I do understand this one. It's not for everybody. If you like a lot of plot, that is not your book. It's very slow. There's not a lot that happens. And that is also true for this next book that I finished. Actually, all the books I finished in the second half. So this one is Another Brooklyn by Jacqueline Woodson. I've never read one of her books before, and I enjoyed this. It's very poetic, so it's very lyrical. So if you don't like that, you won't like this book. And there's not a lot of plot. It is about her going back to take care of her father in New York City. He is dying, and so she's flashing back to when she grew up in Brooklyn in the 70s, and it's about her friends growing up in the 70s in Brooklyn. So you really do get an understanding for that time period. I thought it was beautiful. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely read more from Jacqueline. I just realized, so the main character's name in here, and I have my ring light on so you can see how reflective this book is. It's really cool. This book, the main character is August, and I'm currently reading another book, and the main character's name is August. That's kind of weird, isn't it? But it's December. Okay, I did enjoy that one, and I recommend it, again, if you want a short book, short chapters, but lyrical and beautiful. I would recommend that one. This next one, and both of those I think I gave 4 stars, as well as this one. This is Winter in Sokcho? I can't say it. And this is by Eliza Shu Dusapin. And I believe it's translated by Anissa Habas Higgins. I believe Eliza is French Korean, and it was written in French, but it takes place in Korea. The book does. I enjoyed this one. Again, this is another short one. I think I was in a short, get me some quick reads in before we finish up 2024. And this is another slow paced, but it is beautiful. This is probably out of the three my least favorite, but I did like it. And she works at a guest house type little hotel in Sakcho. I can't say that. And she meets a guest who is a French man. He's an artist and he's staying there. And so it's about their kind of friendship, relationship, hanging out. They're exploring a little bit, and her relationship with her mom. There's a lot of talk about food in here and seafood. If you do not like seafood, you probably would not like this because there is some descriptions that I was like, oh, yeah. But I enjoyed it. Again, not plot heavy. And I didn't care as much for the characters in this one as I did the other two, but I liked it. I think I mean, maybe 3.5. Let me see. Yeah, 3.5. And, oh, actually I finished five books second half of November because I did one on audio, and that is Blood Hollow by William Kent Kruger, and that is in the Cork O'Connor series. I believe that's number 4 or 5 in that series. You can jump into the series anywhere. I'm just going in order. A lot of them were free on Audible. I know I use Audible. I should be ashamed. But a lot of them were free, so I downloaded as many as I could. I think I'm missing 1 or 2, and I don't have the most recent one. But they seem to get better and better for me, and I don't know if that's because I am becoming more invested in the characters, like Cork and his wife Jo. But I really like it. So again, and it also takes place in Minnesota, which I live in Minnesota. So a lot of the places he talks about, I know very well. And this is about, oh, you know what? I'm getting, I did finish Blood Hollow, but I'm listening to right now and almost finished with the next one, Mercy Falls. I was about to tell you about Mercy Falls. Blood Hollow. I don't remember. What was that about? Hold on. Let me just read you the synopsis on Goodreads, since I clearly can't remember these series. When you think we read something back to back and it's in a series, I'm like, I don't know which book or which mystery. It's like Longmire or Murder, She Wrote, where there's a murder every... How are there so many murders in these small towns? I don't know. All right. When the corpse of a... Now I remember. When a corpse of a beautiful high school student is discovered on a hillside 4 months after her disappearance on New Year's Eve, all evidence points to her boyfriend, local bad boy Solemn Winter Moon. Despite Solemn's self-incriminating decision to go into hiding, Cork O'Connor, Aurora's former sheriff, isn't about to hang the crime on the kid, whom O'Connor is convinced is innocent. In an uphill battle to clear Solemn's name, Cork encounters no shortage of adversity. Some he knows all too well, small-town bigotry and bureaucracy foremost amongst them. What Cork isn't prepared for is the emergence of a long-held resentment hailing from his own childhood. And when Solemn reappears, claiming to have seen a vision of Jesus Christ in Blood Hollow, the mystery becomes thornier than Cork could have ever anticipated, and that's when the miracles start happening. I thought it was fantastic. I think that's the highest one. Actually, I gave Orbital 3.5 stars. But now that I'm thinking back on it, I think I'd probably raise that to 4. I don't know. But Blood Hollow, 4.5 stars. I am really not much of a detective series type reader, but William Kent Kruger is definitely a favorite author, and he writes beautiful books. And even though it's a detective series, there's some beautiful writing in there. And I highly recommend reading any of William Kent Kruger's books. The last one I finished, really quick one, and I started this last year. I'm going to read this every year for Thanksgiving, and that's The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, and by Charlie Mackey. This is really an optimistic book, glass half full type of book, being grateful. It's really about being grateful for the things that you have and the friendships that you have. And let's see. I'm trying to find one that means, I know it said, is it better to have a glass half full or half empty? And it's better to just be grateful to have a glass. So I think that's a really appropriate one to read during the Thanksgiving season when we should be grateful for the things that we do have. So I really enjoy this one, and this one's a 5-star. So this is the highest out of the last half of November. All right, let's go into books I hauled. I have 4 of them. And the first one is, I don't really like it. I don't like the cover or the size. I'm not a mass market paperback girl. But we started a book club at work, and this is our first book. It's Hog's Father by Terry Pratchett. And I have not started it yet. This is we're meeting like 3 weeks into December, so I have some time with that one. But I will read that. And I've read only one Terry Pratchett before, and it was okay for me. I'm not much of a fantasy reader, so we'll see how this goes. The next one is actually a gift from a coworker, and that is Nick Flynn, a memoir. It's called The Reenactments. I believe this is from quite a while ago, and I really know nothing about it. And let's see, I'll read the back of it. For Nick Flynn, that game we all play, the who would play you in the movie of your life game, has been resolved. The reenactments chronicles the surreal experience of being on set during the making of the film Being Flynn, from his best-selling memoir Another Bullshit Night in Suck City, and watching the central events of his life reenacted. His father's long run of homelessness and his mother's suicide. Flynn tells the story of Robert De Niro's first meeting with his real father in Boston, and of watching Julianne Moore attempt to throw herself into the sea. The result is a mesmerizing, sharp-edged, and kaleidoscopic literary tour de force, as well as a compelling argument about consciousness, representation, and grief. That sounds kind of heavy. The next book I got is called Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May. I think this one is making some significant rounds right now and becoming popular. A friend pointed this book out to me, and I was like, that sounds exactly what I need to do this winter, is rest and retreat, read, get cozy vibes all the way. So this is a nonfiction book, and I will read a little bit from somewhere. An intimate, revelatory book exploring the ways we can care for and repair ourselves when life knocks us down. That is what I need in 2024. And then the next one I got is The Mighty Red by Louise Erdrich. And I got this at her bookstore in Minneapolis. We went there because she signs her books that are there, I believe her new releases. And so it is signed, really signed, by Louise. She owns a cute little bookstore in Minneapolis called Birch Park. And I love that store. It has a lot of indigenous authors and books there. And this book, I don't know a lot about. Let's read a little bit from it. In the Red River Valley of North Dakota, several lives revolve around a wedding fraught with desire, jealousy, and uncertainty. Gary Geist, a terrible young man set to inherit 2 farms, is desperate to marry Kismet Poe, an impulsive, lapsed goth who can't read her own future but will settle for fulfilling his. Her best friend Hugo, a gentle red-haired homeschooled giant, also loves Kismet and is determined to steal her away and build a life together. That's all I'm going to read. I don't really like reading too much of the synopsis, but that is that one. All right. I think total I got 10 books in November, so I'm thinking I'm going to do a November book haul. I really like what Craig does on Supposedly Fun's channel, where he goes back and looks at the books he bought the years prior to see, kind of hold himself accountable for the books that he's buying to make sure that he's reading them. So I like watching those. I get some good ideas from his past books. All right, what I'm currently reading is Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton. I've been reading this one for a while because I did read those other short books. I'm about halfway done. And this is cute, but it's too long. It's really too long. I don't know. It's cute. It's reminding me a little bit of Angela's Ashes I just read recently, because it is from the boy's perspective. And this is another person named August. The other one is a female named August. And this takes place in Australia and in the 80s. and then there is some flashbacks a little bit to earlier times, but it's quirky, it's funny, especially from the boy's perspective, because he just, yeah, I like how books are told from children's perspectives when some things that would be, you know, very traumatic and very filled with drama for an adult, the kid's like, oh, okay, moving along. I kind of like that, and I'm enjoying it. There's some weird stuff happening. There's some, you know, the family is not well off and they get into trouble, and August and his brother get into lots of things. I will finish it. It's not my favorite thing I've read all year, but it's also so long. The next one, All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. I need to get this done before the end of the year, but I'm doing this in tandem with the audio at the same time, so I can't really listen to it in the car because I want to be reading it and really absorb it because I heard it's amazing. And so far it is. It's really amazing and I like it. And it's dark and there is kid stuff in it. So if that would bother you, do not read this. But it's a dark thriller, but the writing is really good. And I want to pick up his older book, Chris's previous book, and I can't remember right now what it's called. But anyway, I'm liking this. I'm not too far in it, so I can't speak too much about it, but I'm enjoying that. All right, let's talk about some movies. I gotta look at my notes. All right, so movies and TV. Well, I did go see Wicked, and I liked it way more than I was expecting. I was going there dreading it because we went there for book club, and I have read the book, which I did not really like. I have seen the musical, which I did not really like. I think I did not like the musical because it was not like the book. I was expecting the book, and it's nothing like the book, really. The book has very adult themes, and the musical obviously is more based towards kids. So I was expecting not to like it. I really liked it, and I actually can't stop thinking about it. There's a lot of good things in it. The performances are amazing, and I heard that they are actually singing live as they're filming. It's not recorded over, they're not doing voiceovers, or not doing, what do you call it, lip syncing at the time when they're recording. So they are really singing, and it was very emotional on set because of their performances. And I read or saw a tweet of some sort or something where they said Ariana Grande understood the assignment, and that is so accurate, and she is so perfect for that role, and I really liked it. So, you know, I mean, I won't say I loved, I really liked it. All right, Inside Number 9, we started season 9. That's one of my favorite shows of all time, probably in my top 5 of all time. It is on BritBox, so unfortunately you have to get another subscription, and it's a dark comedy, and every episode is completely different, so you could jump in anywhere. I love that show. The two main actors are the writers, and they are amazing, and I heard this is the last season, which makes sense. It's season number 9. And then we started Shrinking season 2. I think we only have 2 episodes left. Love Shrinking. I believe that's on Apple TV, and it's very emotional this season, and I'm crying almost every episode. But I think it's an amazing show, and I really like it. Has a lot of heart. And then I watched The Quiet Girl, which is based on the book Foster by Claire Keegan. Claire Keegan is another one of my favorite authors. And the movie was really, really good. And I liked it. Was that on Amazon Prime? I can't remember. I liked it. And especially if you read Foster, I would check that out. And I watched I actually binged this show. I really liked it. Cross. It's the Alex Cross character based on James Patterson's books. And so I think it's just called Cross. And that's either on HBO or Amazon. I really liked it. And it was kind of a binge-worthy type of show. And Alex Cross is a detective in Washington, D.C. So there's a mystery going on in that series. I hope that series continues. And then I started Landman. I'm not sure if I'm going to move forward with it. I watched 2 episodes, which I did really like. I'm just not sure I liked it well enough, and there was something a little bothersome in it for me, so I don't know if I'll finish that. That is with Billy Bob Thornton, and he plays like kind of like an oil man in Texas. So it's done by the same creator as Yellowstone, which I'm not a Yellowstone fan, so maybe that's part of it, just not the into that. I don't know. I might, we'll see. Silo season 3. Holy crap. Love it. No, not season 3. Season 2. I just watched episode 3 last night. And the way episode 1 ends of season 2, oh, and then it's a surprise as to who plays a certain character. I am loving it. If you have not watched Silo and you like kind of that dark dystopian type of show with great writing, great acting, I would highly recommend that. Great atmosphere. Like, you really get a sense of, I mean, I don't know how they film this and what they're in, but it looks amazing. I need to watch some behind the scenes of that. And then I've just been having X-Files on like I do all the time in the background. And then last night I put on to have in the background as I spaced out on my phone, Watchmen. And that is something I watched maybe 4 years ago or so, whenever it first came out, with Regina King. Love her. And it's based on the graphic novels or comic series. Comic. You know what I'm talking about. I really like that. I think that's all I have for movies and TV. Not as much as normal, but that's still a lot. And we had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you guys did too, if you celebrate. And I don't think I did anything else interesting that you would like to hear about. I haven't been vlogging very much just because life's been busy, but haven't also been doing a ton. Which isn't true, because I was super busy last week. Oh well. Well, there you go. That is my second half of November wrap up for 2024. What is the favorite thing you read in November? And I'm so excited to start watching at the end of December year-end wrap-ups. I love those, and favorites of the year. That'll be fun. All right, I will chat with you guys later.